Hello there, and welcome to Fall Asleep Fast tonight. I'm so glad you've joined me. Tonight, we're leaving the noise of the world behind, drifting together into the gentle, quiet company of moons. Moons, those wandering companions circling planets, large and small. They shape tides, stir atmospheres, and guard secrets hidden beneath icy crusts. Some moons are ancient, scarred, silent witnesses to billions of years passing quietly by. Others are restless, alive with faint geysers, glowing volcanoes, or slowly shifting ice. Tonight's story is a journey among these moons, from the familiar glow of Earth's moon to the distant, icy worlds at the edges of our solar system. We'll drift slowly and gently, exploring their surfaces, their mysteries, and the quiet oceans hidden deep below. All while you settle in. Let your body soften. Let your breathing slow. And allow your mind to float, weightless among the stars. Imagine the pale light of the moon above, soft and comforting, a steady companion, keeping Earth in balance. And beyond it, the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, each one unique, each one quietly moving through the vast darkness. Some glow faintly, some are cratered and still. Others are alive, slowly reshaping themselves over time. For tonight, you don't need to do anything at all. Just drift with me. Slowly. Let the rhythm of these moons, their gentle orbits, ease your mind and carry you deeper into calm, into rest. And when you're ready, we'll begin our first stop. The moon, our closest companion, soft, familiar, waiting patiently to guide us into this quiet journey among the moons. And now, we turn our attention to our closest celestial companion, the moon, glowing softly above us tonight. Familiar, comforting, a silent guardian, cradling the earth. Breathe slowly, in and out. Feel the quiet presence of the moon, patient, watching, unmoving, yet alive in its own way. Its gentle light spills softly across the landscape, a soft glow that has guided humans for millennia. Billions of years ago, the moon was born from a cosmic collision. A Mars-sized body, named Theia, struck the young Earth. Molten rock and debris were blasted into orbit, and slowly, gently, coalesced into the moon we see tonight. Soft, steady, patient, serene. Its surface, is a storybook of time. Bright highlands, cratered and ancient, dark Maria, solidified lava plains, stretching silently, craters of all sizes, each a scar from an impact long ago. Tycho, Copernicus, Aristarchus. Breathe in and out. Imagine standing there, your footsteps leaving faint impressions in the soft lunar dust. Weightless, calm, floating. The moon orbits Earth, slowly drifting outward, about 1.5 inches every year. Its gentle pull shapes the tides, softly rising and falling oceans, influencing life on Earth. Patiently, quietly, breathe slowly, in and out. Imagine the oceans responding, a slow, gentle heartbeat, the quiet rhythm of nature, guided by this silent companion. Tonight, the moon shows its familiar face, but over the month, it changes, waxing, growing brighter, full, luminous, waning, fading, new, hidden in darkness. Softly, slowly, imagine shadows creeping across craters, light glinting from ridges, weightless, floating, serene. Its surface tells stories of fire and ice. Billions of years ago, volcanoes erupted, lava flowed, plumes of gas formed a thin, fragile atmosphere. For a brief moment, the moon could breathe, softly, slowly. Imagine those plumes drifting across the surface. Breathe in and out. Feel the stillness now. Patient, quiet. A world frozen in time, yet full of stories. Some craters trap frozen water, hidden in shadowed corners, preserved for billions of years. Softly, imagine the faint glint of ice, weightless, floating, calm, serene. The moon's surface is diverse. Smooth plains, jagged craters, rills carved by ancient lava flows, regolith, a fine dust, covers the surface. Breathe slowly, in and out. Imagine running your fingers across the soft dust, feeling the quiet texture. Patient, eternal, soft, gentle, serene. Humans have walked here. Apollo missions left footprints, tools, flags, silent monuments to curiosity. Breathe slowly, in and out. Imagine stepping gently on the soft lunar dust, looking back at Earth, a blue jewel, spinning slowly, soft, patient, serene, weightless, floating, calm. The moon stabilizes Earth's tilt, keeping our seasons regular. Without it, Earth might wobble. Extreme ice ages, scorching summers. Breathe in and out. Feel gratitude for this silent companion. Weightless, floating, calm, peaceful. As you drift, let the moon cradle your mind. It's quiet, steady rhythm, patient, eternal, soft, gentle, slow. Breathe slowly, in and out. Let yourself relax completely. Feel the calm, the weightlessness, the serenity. The moon, watching, guiding, comforting. And now, as we leave the familiar glow of the moon, we prepare to drift farther outward, to new companions, orbiting another planet, silent, small, yet full of mystery. The tiny, irregular moons of Mars, waiting, patient, softly moving through the Martian sky. And now, we drift farther from Earth, past the quiet glow of our familiar moon, toward the red planet, Mars, silent, distant, patient. Its surface glows faintly in the light of the sun. Encircling it are two small, humble companions. The larger of the two is Phobos, a tiny moon, only about 22 kilometers across. Irregular, jagged, potato-shaped. Its surface is dark, rough, scarred, ancient. Every crater, every groove tells a story of billions of years. Breathe slowly, in and out. Imagine standing on Phobos, low gravity, less than 1% of Earth's. Your weight, barely noticeable. Each step, a gentle, floating hop. Soft dust, crunching lightly beneath your feet. Mars looms large in the sky below, distant, serene, soft, patient, calm. Phobos is covered in regolith, a layer of fine rock dust and broken fragments formed over eons from meteorite impacts. Softly, imagine tracing your fingers across it, feeling the tiny fragments. Patient, eternal. One crater dominates the moon's surface. Stickney, nearly half the diameter of Phobos itself. Its rim, jagged and sharp, casting long shadows. Softly, slowly, imagine walking along the edge, looking down into the deep bowl. Breathe in and out, weightless, calm, floating, serene. Grooves and fractures stretch across the surface. Some run parallel, some intersect. Theories suggest they were caused by stress. As Phobos orbits Mars, slowly pulled by gravity, perhaps the massive impact that created Stickney left cracks that still mark its surface. Softly, imagine them stretching across jagged terrain, endless, patient, eternal. Phobos orbits Mars incredibly quickly, completing a full orbit in just 7 hours and 39 minutes, faster than a Martian day. From the surface, Mars would rise and set twice in one Martian day. Softly, slowly, picture it. Mars, glowing red, large, serene, calm, weightless, floating, gentle, steady. Phobos is slowly spiraling inward. Each year, a few meters closer. In tens of millions of years, it may crash or break apart, forming a faint ring around Mars. Breathe in and out. Feel the patient pull of gravity, the inevitability of cosmic time. Soft, steady, serene. Its surface is dotted with small craters, some overlapping, some eroded. Tiny fragments from collisions, each a whisper of the solar system's violent past. Softly, imagine touching one, feeling its cold, rough surface, weightless, calm, floating, patient. Phobos is likely a captured asteroid, an object from the distant solar system, tumbled into Mars' orbit long before the planet was settled. Softly, imagine it drifting, quietly, tumbling slowly through space. Patient, calm, serene. From afar, you might see it rotating irregularly. A slow tumble, a gentle wobble. Unlike the moon, Phobos never keeps one face permanently toward Mars. Softly, slowly, visualize the motion. Weightless, floating, gentle, patient. The grooves across its surface, some hundreds of meters long, run parallel, stretching across craters. Some grooves may have been caused by debris sweeping across the surface, others by stress from tidal forces. Softly, Imagine the patterns. Endless. Eternal. Breathe in and out. Weightless. Calm. Serene. Phobos has very little atmosphere. Almost none. No air to breathe. No wind to stir the dust. Yet in its stillness, there is life. In its story, the story of collisions, of time, of a silent companion. Softly, slowly, feel the calm, the quiet presence. Imagine standing, looking down at Mars, a red jewel, spinning slowly. Clouds of dust drift faintly, and above, Phobos tumbles, patient, calm, softly, slowly, float, weightless, serene. Breathe in and out. Feel the quiet rhythm, the gentle orbit, the eternal patience. And now, imagine drifting above the moon, watching Stickney crater. From above, the jagged rim casts long shadows. Grooves mark its surface. Regolith sparkles faintly in the light of the sun. Softly, slowly, weightless, calm, serene. Phobos, small, humble, irregular, yet a part of the cosmic story, a fragment of the past, silently shaping the Martian sky. Soft, gentle, patient, eternal. Breathe slowly, in and out. Float, weightless, calm, serene. And as we drift away from this quiet companion, we leave behind its jagged surface, its patient orbit, its gentle pull. And now, we prepare to approach Deimos, the smaller, more distant moon of Mars. Some grooves may have been caused by debris sweeping across the surface, others by stress from tidal forces. Softly, imagine the patterns. Endless, eternal. Breathe in and out. Weightless, calm, serene. Phobos has very little atmosphere. Almost none. No air to breathe. No wind to stir the dust. Yet in its stillness, there is life. In its story, the story of collisions, of time, of a silent companion. Softly, slowly, feel the calm, the quiet presence. Imagine standing, looking down at Mars, a red jewel, spinning slowly. Clouds of dust drift faintly, and above, Phobos tumbles, patient, calm, softly, slowly, float, weightless, serene. Breathe in and out. Feel the quiet rhythm, the gentle orbit, the eternal patience. And now, imagine drifting above the moon, watching Stickney Crater. From above, the jagged rim casts long shadows, grooves, mark its surface. Regolith sparkles faintly in the light of the sun, softly, slowly, weightless, calm, serene. Phobos, small, humble, irregular, yet a part of the cosmic story, a fragment of the past, silently shaping the Martian sky. Soft, gentle, patient, eternal. Breathe slowly, in and out. Float, weightless, calm, serene. And as we drift away from this quiet companion, we leave behind its jagged surface, its patient orbit, its gentle pull. And now we prepare to approach Deimos, the smaller, more distant moon of Mars. And now we drift a little farther beyond the jagged, tumbling Phobos toward the smaller, more distant moon of Mars, Deimos. Silent, patient, calm, a tiny companion quietly circling the red planet. Deimos is only about 12 kilometers across, much smaller than Phobos, and smoother, softer, covered in fine regolith, a layer of dust, and tiny rock fragments. Breathe slowly, in and out. Imagine standing on Deimos, low gravity, weightless, floating, each step a gentle hop, soft, effortless. Its surface is less cratered than Phobos. Small craters to the landscape, shadows stretching across gentle slopes. Softly, imagine touching the fine dust, feeling its cool, quiet texture, patient, serene, calm. Deimos orbits Mars much higher than Phobos, taking about 30 hours to complete a full orbit. From its surface, Mars looks smaller, more distant, a calm, pale red jewel, softly glowing. Breathe in and out, weightless, floating, patient, serene, soft, gentle, slow, Like Phobos, Deimos is thought to be a captured asteroid, an object from far beyond Mars, drawn into its orbit long ago, tumbling slowly, quietly, through the cosmos, softly. Imagine drifting beside it, watching it circle patiently, a silent witness to billions of years. Its irregular shape, lumpy, potato-like, yet smoother than Phobos, with subtle ridges and shallow craters. Imagine walking across these gentle slopes, feeling the dust beneath your fingertips, weightless, calm, serene. Breathe slowly, in and out. Deimos reflects only a small amount of sunlight, its surface dark, faintly gleaming, softly. Imagine the gentle light, glinting off tiny stones, shadows stretching across ridges, soft, steady, calm, patient, eternal, serene. From afar, Phobos and Deimos together, two tiny companions, orbiting Mars, one fast, jagged, restless, the other slow, distant, gentle, softly. Imagine drifting above them, watching their paths, orbiting silently, weightless, calm, floating, patient. Both moons, small, humble, irregular, yet they tell the story of Mars, of gravity, collisions, captured asteroids, soft, gentle, patient, eternal. Breathe slowly, in and out. Let the quiet rhythm of these moons cradle your mind, float your thoughts, ease your body. Deimos, soft, distant, steady, a patient companion, circling silently, watching Mars spin below. The red dust, the faint clouds of atmosphere. Breathe in and out, weightless, calm, serene, floating gently, softly, peacefully. And as we drift away from both moons, we leave behind the patient orbits, the quiet presence, and begin to drift outward toward worlds larger and more complex. Jupiter, the gas giant, and the family of moons that dance around it, each one unique, alive, in its own way. But for now, let Mars' silent companions ease your mind, cradle your body, weightless, calm, serene. And now, we drift past Mars, past its two silent companions, Phobos and Deimos, farther into the solar system, toward a giant, a swirling world of clouds and storms. Jupiter, massive, glowing, commanding, and orbiting this giant, a world unlike any other. Io, alive with fire. Io, the innermost of Jupiter's four large moons, only slightly larger than our moon, about 3,643 kilometers across. Yet it is the most geologically active body in the entire solar system. Volcanoes erupt constantly. Molten lava fountains, miles high, softly, slowly. Imagine standing on Io. Breathe in and out, weightless, floating, calm, serene. Io's surface is a patchwork of colors: red, yellow, white, orange, sulfur, and silicate rocks, streaking across vast plains. Breathe slowly, in and out, softly. Visualize the steaming vents, plumes of gas, the glow of fresh lava. Patient, eternal, yet alive. The intense activity on Io comes from tidal forces, Jupiter's immense gravity, stretching and squeezing Io, along with the pull of neighboring moons, Europa and Ganymede, creating heat deep inside, fueling molten lava flows and volcanic eruptions. Softly, imagine the ground shifting beneath you, a world constantly reshaping, alive, vibrant, yet serene. Io has hundreds of active volcanoes, some so massive they shoot lava hundreds of miles into space. Some eruptions outshine anything on Earth. Softly, slowly, visualize the molten rivers, glowing under faint sunlight, weightless, floating, calm, gentle. Breathe in and out. The surface is covered with mountains, plains, lava lakes, and sulfur deposits. Every crater, every fissure, telling a story of constant change. Softly, imagine running your hands across warm volcanic rock. Weightless, patient, serene. Even Io's atmosphere is thin, mostly sulfur dioxide. No air to breathe. Yet the moon is alive in motion. Breathe slowly, in and out, softly. Imagine the smell of sulfur, the hiss of volcanic plumes. Weightless, calm, serene. Io's orbit around Jupiter, completes in just 1.77 Earth days. From its surface, Jupiter dominates the sky. Huge, colorful, majestic. Softly, slowly, imagine gazing up at the giant. The storms, the swirling bands, immense, eternal, patient, weightless, floating, calm. Io teaches us that not all moons are silent. Some are alive, reshaping themselves, vibrant, glowing. Breathe slowly, in and out, softly. Imagine the volcanic glow, dancing across plains, weightless, serene, patient, eternal. And now, as we leave Io behind, we drift outward to a world of hidden oceans, a world of ice and possibility. Europa waits, quietly circling Jupiter, patient, serene, mysterious. And now, we drift past Io, past the fiery, restless world, outward, toward a moon of ice, quiet, serene. Europa, a moon of mystery, a world that may hide oceans beneath its frozen crust. Europa is slightly smaller than Earth's moon, about 3,121 kilometers across. Its surface is a smooth, bright layer of ice. Cracks and ridges stretch across plains. Breathe slowly, in and out, softly. Imagine standing on Europa, cold beneath your feet, weightless, floating, serene. The surface is crossed with long, linear fractures, called lineae, stretching thousands of kilometers. Some ridges rise high, others are shallow. Softly, slowly, imagine tracing these lines with your fingers. Weightless, calm, patient, eternal. Beneath the ice, there may be a global ocean, liquid water, kept warm by tidal heating. Jupiter's gravity, stretching Europa, flexing its interior, generating heat. Softly, imagine a hidden ocean, teeming with possibility. Weightless, calm, serene. Europa's ice shell is constantly shifting, plates moving, cracking, reforming. Some areas reveal glimpses of water below. Occasionally, water vapor escapes, forming tiny plumes. Softly, imagine them rising into space, glittering in the faint sunlight. Patient, gentle, calm. Scientists believe Europa's ocean may contain more water than all of Earth's oceans combined. Breathe slowly, in and out, softly. Picture the vast, hidden depths, cold, dark, yet full of potential. Weightless, floating, serene. Europa may have hydrothermal vents at the ocean floor, where warmth and minerals mix, creating environments where life could exist. Softly, imagine tiny organisms, if they exist, moving slowly, patiently, in complete silence, weightless, calm, serene. The surface reflects sunlight, bright and white, with subtle shades of brown and red. These are salts from the ocean below. Softly, slowly, imagine light glinting off icy ridges, cracks stretching endlessly across a frozen landscape. Weightless, calm, gentle, patient. Europa completes an orbit around Jupiter in just 3.55 Earth days. Its tidal lock means one face always points toward the planet. Jupiter dominates the sky, huge, swirling, majestic. Softly, imagine standing on the ice, the giant gas planet looming above, immense and eternal, patient, serene, calm. Europa is a quiet, calm world, unlike Io. Yet beneath the serene ice, life may stir. Softly, slowly, imagine the hidden ocean, its depths, stretching beyond imagination. Weightless, floating, calm, serene. And now, as we drift away from this quiet, icy world, we leave behind the hidden ocean, the cracks, the plumes, and prepare to drift toward the largest moon in the solar system, Ganymede, a moon of vast landscapes, a world with its own magnetic field, patient, serene, waiting for us. And now, we drift farther from Europa, past the icy, mysterious world, toward the largest moon in the entire solar system, Ganymede, a world so vast, it could almost be its own planet, patient, serene, quietly orbiting Jupiter. Ganymede measures about 5,268 kilometers across, larger than Mercury, even larger than our moon. Softly, slowly, imagine standing on its surface, weightless, floating, calm, serene. Mountains rise in the distance, plains stretch endlessly, craters and grooves crisscross the frozen landscape. Its surface is a mix of dark and light regions, The older, darker terrain is heavily cratered. The younger, lighter areas are grooved and ridged. Breathe slowly, in and out, softly. Imagine running your fingers over the ridges, feeling the gentle undulations of ice and rock. Patient, serene, calm. Ganymede is unique because it has its own magnetic field, the only moon known to have one, suggesting a molten metallic core. Deep beneath the surface, softly, imagine the invisible magnetic lines wrapping the moon, protecting it. Patient, eternal, weightless, calm, serene. Its thin atmosphere is mostly oxygen, too thin to breathe, but it casts a soft, invisible shield around the moon. Breathe slowly, in and out. Imagine the faint touch of oxygen particles dancing lightly above the ice. Weightless, gentle, calm. Beneath the icy crust, Ganymede may hide a saltwater ocean, perhaps even deeper and more massive than Europa's. Softly, visualize the ocean, hidden beneath kilometers of ice. Patient, serene, eternal, weightless, floating, calm. Ganymede completes an orbit around Jupiter in about 7 Earth days. Tidal locking means one face always points toward the planet. Softly, imagine gazing at Jupiter from the surface. The giant swirling clouds, massive storms, eternally patient, weightless, calm, serene. Its surface features include grooves and ridges, some stretching thousands of kilometers, formed by tectonic forces. As the ice crust flexed over the hidden ocean, softly, slowly, imagine walking along these ridges, feeling the gentle slope, tracing patterns across the ice. Weightless, calm, serene. Ganymede's craters vary in size. Some large, ancient, billions of years old. Others small, newer. Softly, imagine the quiet history recorded in every impact. A story of cosmic collisions. Patient, eternal, calm. Volcanic activity may be minimal, but the ocean beneath, warmed by tidal forces, keeps the moon alive in quiet ways. Softly, slowly, visualize water currents beneath the ice, potential habitats for life. Unseen, patient, serene. From orbit, Ganymede would appear as a globe of light and shadow. Dark regions, marked by ancient terrain, bright ridges, cutting across the surface. Softly, Imagine floating above the ice, watching Jupiter hang in the sky. Immense, eternal, patient, serene, calm. Ganymede teaches us that moons can be worlds unto themselves, vast, complex, alive in hidden ways. Softly, breathe in and out, weightless, floating, calm, serene. Allow yourself to drift with the moon, cradled by its quiet orbit, its gentle pull, patient, eternal, peaceful. And as we slowly drift away from Ganymede, we leave behind its frozen plains, its magnetic shield, its hidden ocean, and prepare to move outward toward Callisto, another massive, icy moon, quietly orbiting Jupiter, patient, calm, serene, waiting for us. And now, we drift slowly past Ganymede, past the frozen plains, the hidden oceans, toward the outermost of Jupiter's great moons. Callisto, silent, distant, ancient, a world marked by time itself, patient, calm, serene. Callisto measures about 4,820 kilometers across, almost as large as Ganymede, and covered with thousands of craters. Its surface is one of the oldest in the solar system. Softly, slowly, imagine standing on its icy plains, weightless, floating, calm, serene, craters stretching as far as the eye can see. A quiet, timeless landscape. The largest crater, Valhalla, dominates the surface, a multi-ringed impact basin, hundreds of kilometers across. Softly, imagine tracing the rings with your eyes, feeling the quiet echoes of a cosmic collision. Breathe in and out, weightless, calm, patient, eternal. Callisto's surface is dark, covered with ice and rock. Softly, slowly, imagine running your fingers across it, feeling the textures of ancient impacts, jagged, rough, and smooth. Every crater tells a story, billions of years old, patient, serene, calm. Unlike its neighbors, Callisto shows very little geological activity. No volcanoes, no tectonic ridges. Its surface has remained almost unchanged for eons. Softly, imagine the quiet stillness, floating, weightless, calm, patient, eternal, serene. Beneath its surface, there may lie a subsurface ocean, not as active as Europa or Ganymede, but enough to hold water and the potential for life. Softly, visualize the hidden depths beneath the icy crust. Silent, patient, calm, weightless, floating, serene. Callisto orbits Jupiter every 16.7 Earth days, farther out than its siblings. From its surface, Jupiter would appear smaller, yet still immense, softly glowing. Softly, slowly, imagine gazing at the giant, watching its storms swirl endlessly. Patient, eternal, calm. Callisto's craters vary in size. Some tiny, like footprints on snow. Some massive, covering hundreds of kilometers. Softly, imagine wandering across the plain, feeling the history etched into ice and rock. Weightless, calm, serene. Because of its distance from Jupiter, Callisto experiences less tidal heating. Its interior is quiet, stable, patient. Softly, slowly, imagine the slow heartbeat of the moon. A world undisturbed, ancient, serene, weightless, calm, floating. Callisto teaches us that not all moons are dramatic. Some are quiet observers, marking time, recording the history of the solar system. Softly, breathe in and out. Weightless, calm, serene, floating gently above the craters. Patient, eternal, peaceful. And as we drift away from Callisto, we leave behind its timeless landscape, its silent craters, its hidden ocean, and begin to drift outward, past Jupiter, toward the next destinations, Saturn, and its many moons. Patient, calm, serene, waiting for us. And now, we drift farther, beyond the great planet Jupiter, past its swirling storms, its countless moons, toward a distant, orange world. Saturn's largest moon, Titan. Patient, calm, mysterious. Titan measures about 5,150 kilometers across, slightly smaller than Ganymede. Its surface shrouded in a thick, orange atmosphere. Softly, slowly, imagine standing on Titan. The air thick and hazy, weightless, calm, serene. You cannot see far. The sunlight diffused through dense nitrogen clouds. Yet beneath this veil, a world of rivers, lakes, and seas waits. Titan is the only moon in the solar system known to have stable liquid on its surface. Not water, but methane and ethane. Softly, imagine rivers winding slowly across the icy plains. lakes glimmering under a faint orange sky. Patient, serene, calm, weightless, floating, gentle. Clouds drift slowly overhead. Occasional rain falls. Methane droplets dripping softly onto the frozen ground. Softly, slowly. Imagine standing in this gentle rainfall, feeling the liquid touch your skin. Weightless, calm, serene. Titan's surface features are shaped by this liquid. Dunes, rivers, lakes, and seas. Softly, visualize the winding channels, the smooth lakes, shimmering under the muted sunlight. Patient, eternal, calm. Scientists believe Titan may harbor prebiotic chemistry, organic molecules floating in lakes, rivers flowing with compounds similar to those that may have sparked life on Earth. Softly, slowly, imagine the quiet chemical dance. Invisible, patient, serene, weightless, calm. Titan's thick atmosphere, mostly nitrogen with a hint of methane, protects the surface, softening the landscape, muffling the wind. Breathe slowly, in and out, softly. Imagine the stillness, the muted light, the gentle haze. Weightless, floating, calm, serene, orbiting Saturn every 16 days. Titan is tidally locked, always showing one face to the planet. From its surface, Saturn rises and sets slowly, softly. Imagine the giant rings, shimmering faintly above the horizon. Immense, patient, eternal, calm. Titan is a moon of contrasts. Vast frozen plains, rivers of methane, hazy skies, gentle rainfall. Softly, slowly. Picture standing on the edge of a methane sea, watching clouds drift, lakes glimmer. Weightless, calm, serene. Its orange haze conceals the surface, yet radar observations reveal mountains, valleys, craters. Softly, imagine tracing the gentle hills, feeling the icy terrain beneath your fingertips. Weightless, floating, calm, patient, serene. Titan teaches us that moons can be complex worlds of liquid and air, a combination of alien chemistry and quiet, patient motion. Breathe slowly, in and out, softly. Imagine drifting above rivers and lakes, weightless, calm, serene, floating gently, patient, eternal. And as we drift away from Titan, we leave behind its rivers, lakes, and hazy skies. Its gentle rainfall, its quiet chemical dance, and prepare to drift inward toward the next world. Enceladus, patient, serene, alive with icy geysers, waiting for us. And now, we drift gently past Titan, beyond the rivers, lakes, and hazy skies, toward a small but extraordinary moon. Enceladus, patient, serene, alive, quietly announcing itself. Enceladus is small, only about 504 kilometers across. Yet it is one of the most fascinating worlds in the solar system. Softly, slowly, imagine standing on its icy surface, weightless, floating, calm, serene. Bright ice stretches endlessly, reflecting faint sunlight. Every surface gleams, patient, eternal. This small moon hides a global subsurface ocean beneath its icy crust. Breathe slowly, in and out, softly. Imagine the water beneath kilometers of ice. Silent, patient, calm, teeming with potential. Weightless, serene, floating. Enceladus is famous for its south polar geysers. Icy plumes shooting hundreds of kilometers into space. Softly, slowly, visualize them spraying, glittering in sunlight. Water vapor, ice crystals, organic molecules. Patient, calm, gentle, weightless, floating, serene. These geysers provide a direct window into the hidden ocean below. Organic molecules within the plumes hint at the building blocks of life. Softly, imagine the quiet chemical dance. Patient, eternal, calm, weightless, floating, serene. Enceladus orbits Saturn every 1.37 Earth days. Tidal forces from Saturn stretch and flex the moon, generating heat that keeps the subsurface ocean liquid. Softly, slowly, imagine the rhythmic stretching of the ice. Patient, gentle, calm, weightless, floating, serene. Its surface is young and bright. Few craters mark its icy plains. Softly, imagine gliding across the ice, feeling the smooth, reflective surface beneath your fingertips. Weightless, calm, serene. Some regions are fractured, ridged, cracked. Softly, visualize these fractures stretching across the surface, like veins of ice. Patient, eternal. The plumes erupt from these cracks, sending water and ice into the void. Softly, imagine floating through the spray. Calm, serene, gentle. The Cassini spacecraft flew directly through the plumes, sampling the chemistry, confirming the ocean's saltiness. Organic molecules, tiny hints of potential life. Softly, imagine observing this from afar. Patient, floating, calm, serene. Enceladus reminds us that even small moons can be extraordinary, alive in quiet ways, holding oceans beneath ice. Breathe slowly, in and out, weightless, floating, calm, serene. Softly, drift with the geysers, patient, eternal, peaceful. And as we leave Enceladus behind, we carry with us its icy plumes, its hidden ocean, and prepare to drift outward toward the smaller, distant moons of Saturn, each unique, patient, calm, serene. The solar system stretches endlessly, waiting for our gentle journey. And now, we drift gently past Enceladus, beyond the icy plumes, the hidden ocean, toward a small, quiet, mysterious moon of Saturn, Deimos, patient, serene, ancient, quietly circling the gas giant. Deimos is small, only about 396 kilometers across. Softly, slowly, imagine standing on its icy surface, weightless, floating, calm, serene. Every footstep a gentle hop, the surface icy and reflective, shadows stretching across its cratered plains. Patient, eternal. Deimos is most famous for its giant crater, Herschel, stretching about 130 kilometers across, almost a third of the moon's diameter. Softly, imagine standing at the edge of this enormous crater. The walls steep, jagged, yet glowing softly in faint sunlight. Breathe slowly, in and out, weightless, calm, serene. The impact that created Herschel must have been immense. Softly, slowly, imagine the cosmic collision. Rocks blasted into space. The moon trembling. Patient. Eternal. And yet, Deimos survived. Orbiting Saturn quietly. Weightless. Calm. Serene. Its surface is covered in ice and rock, pockmarked with smaller craters. Softly, imagine tracing your fingers across the ridges and hollows, feeling the cold, smooth, reflective ice beneath. Patient, floating, serene, gentle. Deimos orbits Saturn every 22.6 hours, tightly locked. Its same face always points toward the planet. Softly, slowly, imagine Saturn hanging in the sky, Immense, glowing, swirling, patient, eternal, weightless, calm, serene. Despite its small size, Mimas has secrets. The giant Herschel crater tells a story of the moon's violent past, and its interior may contain pockets of warmer ice. Softly, imagine these hidden pockets beneath the frozen crust. Patient, calm, serene, weightless, floating, gentle. Mimas may appear quiet, inert, yet its existence shapes Saturn's rings and gravitational balance. Softly, imagine the moon tugging gently on particles in the nearby rings. Patient, eternal. Breathe slowly, in and out. Weightless, calm, serene. Its small, icy surface reflects almost all sunlight. Bright and gleaming, a pearl of Saturn. Softly, slowly, visualize the glow of ice under the muted Saturnian light. Weightless, floating, patient, serene. Mimas teaches us that even small moons can be remarkable, marked by history, shaped by cosmic events. Softly, breathe in and out. Weightless, calm, floating, serene, patient, eternal, gentle. And as we drift away from Mimas, we leave behind the giant crater, the icy plains, and begin to drift toward the next moon. Tethys, larger, smoother, quietly orbiting Saturn. Patient, serene, waiting for us. And now, we drift gently past Mimas, beyond the icy plains, the giant Herschel crater, toward a moon of Saturn, larger, smoother, quietly orbiting. Tethys, patient, calm, serene, ancient, quietly circling its giant planet. Tethys measures about 1,062 kilometers across. Softly, slowly, imagine standing on its icy surface. Weightless, floating, calm, serene. Wide plains stretch endlessly, ice glinting under the distant sunlight. Breathe slowly, in and out. Patient, floating, eternal, gentle. The surface of Tethys is mostly ice, bright, reflective, almost pure. Softly, slowly, imagine the light bouncing across the plains. Shadows from small craters, stretching long, weightless, calm, serene. Tethys is home to Odysseus, a massive crater, about 445 kilometers across, almost half the moon's diameter. Softly, Imagine standing at the rim. The walls steep, pockmarked, patient, eternal. Breathe slowly, in and out, weightless, floating, serene, gentle. Tethys is also known for the Ithaca Chasma, a long canyon, stretching about 2,000 kilometers, almost twice the circumference of Earth's moon. Softly, slowly, imagine drifting along the chasm, feeling the icy cliffs rising on either side. Patient, calm, serene, weightless, floating, gentle. Its orbit around Saturn takes about 45.3 hours. Tidally locked, always showing the same face to the planet. Softly, imagine Saturn hanging in the sky, its rings shimmering faintly above the horizon. Patient, eternal, weightless, calm, serene. Tethys' surface is marked by craters both large and small. The ice is bright, smooth, reflective. Softly, imagine gliding across these icy plains, feeling the quiet history of impacts. Patient, serene, calm, weightless, floating, gentle. Despite its smooth appearance, Tethys tells a story of cosmic collisions. The giant craters, the deep chasms, the fractured ice. Softly, slowly, imagine the ancient impacts, their energy echoing silently across the moon. Weightless, calm, serene, patient, eternal. Tethys teaches us that moons can be quiet, reflective worlds, holding the history of the solar system. Patient, calm, serene, softly. Breathe in and out, weightless, floating, calm, gentle, eternal, serene, floating softly across its icy plains. And as we drift away from Tethys, we leave behind its craters, its vast Ithaca Chasma, its reflective icy surface, and begin to drift toward the next moon. Dione, patient, serene, quietly waiting for us. And now, we drift slowly past Tethys, leaving its icy plains, its vast Ithaca Chasma, toward another moon of Saturn. Dione, patient, serene, quietly circling the gas giant. Dione measures about 1,123 kilometers across, slightly larger than Tethys. Softly, slowly, imagine standing on its icy surface, weightless, floating, calm, serene. Craters of all sizes pockmark the plains. Breathe slowly, in and out, patient, floating, gentle, eternal. The surface of Dione is ice-covered, bright, reflective, yet dark streaks run across its plains. Softly, imagine tracing these wisps, feeling the icy textures beneath your fingertips. Weightless, calm, serene, gentle. Dione is home to Herschel Crater. Not as large as Mimas' giant crater, but still impressive. Softly, slowly, imagine standing at the rim. The walls steep and icy, stretching outward. Patient, eternal. Breathe in and out. Weightless, calm, serene. Long fractures streak across Dione's surface. These are called chasmata, deep canyons formed by tectonic stresses. Softly, slowly, imagine drifting along one of these chasms, feeling the icy cliffs rise on either side. Patient, calm, serene, weightless, floating, gentle. Its orbit around Saturn takes about 2.7 Earth days. Tidally locked, always showing the same face to the planet. Softly, imagine Saturn hanging low in the sky, its rings shimmering faintly. Patient, eternal, weightless, calm, serene. Dione's craters vary in size. Some are ancient, billions of years old. Some are younger, the result of more recent impacts. Softly, slowly, imagine each crater telling its story. Weightless, floating, calm, serene, gentle. Beneath the icy crust, Dione may harbor pockets of liquid water, warmed slightly by tidal forces from Saturn. Softly, slowly, visualize the hidden ocean beneath the ice. Patient, calm, serene, weightless, floating, gentle. The combination of bright ice, dark streaks, and deep chasms makes Dione visually striking. Softly, imagine gliding across the surface, feeling the ancient history etched into the frozen plains. Patient, serene, calm, weightless, gentle. Dione teaches us that moons can be ancient, yet alive in subtle ways, quietly orbiting, silently recording the history of their worlds. Softly, breathe in and out. Weightless, floating, calm, serene, patient, eternal, gentle, floating softly above the icy plains. And as we drift away from Dione, we leave behind its craters, its streaks and chasms, and begin to drift toward the next moon. Rhea, patient, serene, quietly waiting for us. And now, we drift gently past Dione, leaving its icy plains, its dark streaks, its deep chasms, toward another moon of Saturn, Rhea. Silent, patient, serene, quietly orbiting the gas giant. Rhea measures about 1,527 kilometers across. The second largest moon of Saturn. Softly, slowly, imagine standing on its icy surface. Weightless, floating, calm, serene. Vast plains stretch endlessly. Bright, reflective ice glinting in faint sunlight. Breathe slowly. In and out. Patient. Floating. Gentle. Eternal. Rhea's surface is heavily cratered. Some craters are small, pockmarks across the plains. Others are enormous, silent witnesses to ancient cosmic collisions. Softly, imagine running your fingers across the ridges and depressions, feeling the ice beneath your fingertips. Weightless, calm, serene. The most famous crater is Enceladus, about 240 kilometers across. Softly, slowly, imagine standing at the rim. The walls steep and icy, casting long shadows. Patient, eternal. Breathe in and out. Weightless, calm, serene. Rhea's orbit around Saturn takes about 4.5 Earth days. Tidally locked, always showing the same face to the planet. Softly, imagine Saturn hanging low in the sky, its rings shimmering faintly above the horizon. Patient, eternal, weightless, calm, serene. Long, bright streaks called wispy terrain streak across Rhea's surface, formed by tectonic fractures, gently stretching across the icy plains. Softly, imagine drifting along one of these wisps, feeling the smooth ice. Patient, calm, serene, weightless, floating, gentle. Beneath the surface, Rhea may have a layer of liquid water, protected from space by kilometers of ice. Softly, slowly, imagine the hidden ocean beneath the frozen crust. Patient, calm, serene, weightless, floating. Rhea reflects almost all sunlight. Its bright, icy surface glows softly. Softly, slowly. Visualize standing on the plains, feeling the quiet brilliance of ice stretching endlessly. Patient, serene, gentle. Rhea teaches us that moons can be ancient, reflective, quietly alive, carrying the history of cosmic impacts and tectonic shifts. Softly, breathe in and out. Weightless, floating, calm, serene, patient, eternal, gentle. And as we drift away from Rhea, we leave behind its bright icy plains, its craters, its wispy terrain, and begin to drift outward toward Titania and Oberon, the moons of Uranus, patient, calm, serene, quietly waiting for us. And now, we drift gently away from Titania, leaving behind its icy plains, its deep canyons, toward another distant moon of Uranus, Oberon, silent, patient, serene, quietly circling its pale, distant planet. Oberon measures about 1,523 kilometers across, slightly smaller than Titania. Softly, slowly, imagine standing on its icy surface, weightless, floating, calm, serene. Craters and ridges stretch across the plains. Breathe slowly, in and out, patient, floating, gentle, eternal. Oberon is heavily cratered. The largest impact crater, Hamlet, spans about 206 kilometers. Softly, visualize standing at the rim. The walls steep, icy, jagged, stretching far, weightless, calm, serene, gentle. The surface is composed mostly of water ice with a mix of rock. Softly, imagine touching the icy plains, feeling the cold, smooth texture, the quiet echoes of cosmic history. Patient, floating, serene, calm. Oberon is also marked by long scarps and valleys, formed by tectonic stresses. Softly, slowly, imagine drifting along these cliffs. The terrain jagged, mysterious, quiet, patient, eternal, weightless, calm, serene, gentle. Oberon orbits Uranus every 13.5 Earth days, tidally locked, always showing the same face to the planet. Softly, imagine Uranus hanging in the sky above, a pale green-blue sphere, dimly glowing, patient, eternal, weightless, calm, serene. Despite its cold distance from the Sun, Oberon may hold subsurface pockets of liquid water. Softly, imagine the hidden oceans beneath the icy crust. Patient, calm, serene, weightless, floating gently. Craters on Oberon tell stories of ancient impacts. Softly, slowly, imagine each crater, a frozen memory of cosmic events. Silent, patient, eternal, weightless, calm, serene, gentle. Oberon teaches us that moons, even far from warmth and light, can be ancient, complex worlds. Softly, breathe in and out, weightless, floating, calm, serene, patient, eternal, gentle. And as we drift away from Oberon, we leave behind its icy plains, its craters, and rugged scarps, and prepare to journey outward toward the moons of Neptune, patient, serene, quietly waiting for us. And now, we drift gently away from Uranus, leaving Titania and Oberon behind, toward a distant, mysterious moon, orbiting the deep blue planet Neptune. Triton, silent, patient, serene, quietly circling its massive planet. Triton measures about 2,710 kilometers across, making it the largest moon of Neptune. Softly, slowly, imagine standing on its icy surface, weightless, floating, calm, serene. The terrain stretches endlessly. Frozen plains, icy cliffs, and craters. Breathe slowly, in and out, patient, floating, gentle, eternal. Triton is unique. It orbits Neptune in a retrograde motion. Slowly, imagine it moving opposite to Neptune's rotation, a clue to its ancient capture. Patient, eternal, calm, weightless, floating, serene, gentle. The surface of Triton is mostly nitrogen ice, with frozen water and methane. Softly, slowly, imagine touching the cold, smooth plains, feeling the subtle textures of frozen nitrogen beneath your fingertips. Patient, floating, serene, calm. Triton is home to geysers that erupt nitrogen gas. Softly, visualize them spraying into the thin atmosphere, creating faint plumes, glowing gently under distant sunlight. Weightless, calm, serene, gentle. Its orbit around Neptune takes about 5.9 Earth days. Tidally locked, always showing the same face to the planet. Softly, imagine Neptune hanging high in the sky. Deep blue, massive, patient, eternal, weightless, calm, serene. Triton's surface is marked by craters, ridges, and cantaloupe-like terrain. The cantaloupe terrain is unique. Softly, slowly, imagine the textured, rolling plains. Patient, calm, serene, floating gently, weightless, gentle, eternal. Beneath the icy crust, Triton may harbor a subsurface ocean. Softly, visualize the hidden water, quietly moving beneath the frozen shell. Patient, calm, serene, weightless, floating. Triton teaches us that moons, even far from the sun, can be active, alive in subtle ways. Softly, breathe in and out, weightless, floating, calm, serene, patient, eternal, gentle. And as we drift away from Triton, we leave behind its icy plains, its geysers, its cantaloupe terrain, and begin to drift outward toward the smaller moons of Neptune, patient, calm, serene, quietly waiting for us. And now, we drift gently past Triton, leaving its icy plains, its geysers, its cantaloupe terrain, toward one of Neptune's smaller, mysterious moons, Proteus. Silent, patient, serene, quietly orbiting the distant blue planet. Proteus measures about 420 kilometers across, much smaller than Triton. Softly, slowly, imagine standing on its rugged surface, weightless, floating, calm, serene. Jagged cliffs and irregular shapes stretch in every direction. Breathe slowly, in and out, patient, floating, gentle, eternal. Proteus is not spherical. Its shape is irregular, rugged, jagged, almost like a stone floating in space. Softly, imagine tracing the ridges and valleys, feeling the uneven icy rock surface beneath your fingertips. Weightless, calm, serene, gentle. The surface is heavily cratered. Softly, slowly, imagine the impact marks. Some are deep, some shallow, each one a memory of cosmic collisions. Patient, calm, serene, floating gently, weightless, eternal, gentle. Proteus orbits Neptune every 1.1 Earth days, tidally locked, always showing the same face to the planet. Softly, imagine Neptune looming above, deep, immense, patient, eternal, weightless, calm, serene. Despite its small size, Proteus has a complex, rugged landscape. Softly, slowly, imagine walking across jagged cliffs, craters rising and falling, ridges like frozen waves. Patient, calm, serene, floating gently, weightless, gentle, eternal. Proteus teaches us that even the smallest moons can be remarkable, shaped by cosmic history. Softly, breathe in and out, weightless, floating, calm, serene, patient, eternal, gentle. And as we drift away from Proteus, We leave behind its jagged cliffs, its craters, and prepare to drift toward Neptune's next moon. Nereid, patient, serene, quietly waiting for us. And now, we drift gently past Proteus, leaving behind its jagged cliffs, its cratered plains, toward another moon of Neptune. Nereid, silent, patient, serene, quietly orbiting its distant, deep blue planet. Nereid measures about 340 kilometers across. Small, irregular, mysterious. Softly, slowly, imagine standing on its rugged, icy surface. Weightless, floating, calm, serene. Craters and ridges stretch across its plains. Breathe slowly, in and out, patient, floating, gentle, eternal. Nereid is known for its extremely eccentric orbit. Softly, slowly, imagine it swinging closer, then farther from Neptune. Every orbit, a long, graceful swing, patient, calm, serene, floating gently, weightless, eternal, gentle. Its surface is composed mostly of ice with some rock. Softly, imagine running your fingers across the icy plains, feeling the rugged texture. Patient, serene, calm, weightless, floating, gentle. Nereid's orbit takes about 360 Earth days, yet its path is highly elongated. Softly, imagine it tracing its long, looping path around Neptune, farther than Proteus, closer than the outer moons. Patient, eternal, weightless, calm, serene. The surface is heavily cratered. Softly, slowly, imagine each impact mark. Memories of collisions stretching back billions of years. Patient, calm, serene, gentle, weightless, floating, eternal. Nereid teaches us that moons, even small and distant, can hold mysteries in their paths and surfaces. Softly, breathe in and out, weightless, floating, calm, serene, patient, eternal, gentle. And as we drift away from Nereid, we leave behind its eccentric orbit, its rugged plains, and begin to drift outward, toward the distant, icy worlds of the Kuiper Belt. Patient, calm, serene, quietly waiting for us. And now, we drift gently past Neptune, leaving behind its moons, Triton, Proteus, Nereid, and venture farther into the quiet outskirts of our solar system, toward the distant, icy world of Pluto. patient, serene, softly glowing, quietly orbiting the Sun. Pluto measures about 2,377 kilometers across. Small, icy, mysterious, softly, slowly. Imagine standing on its frozen plains, weightless, floating, calm, serene. Mountains of water ice rise like jagged glass. Plains of nitrogen ice stretch endlessly. Breathe slowly. In and out. Patient. Floating. Gentle. Eternal. The surface of Pluto is varied and dynamic. Softly. Slowly. Imagine drifting across Sputnik Planitia, a vast, heart-shaped plain. Nitrogen ice flowing gently across the surface. Glacial textures stretching endlessly. Patient, calm, serene, weightless, floating, gentle. Pluto is home to large mountains called Tartarus Dorsa. Sharp, jagged peaks of water ice. Softly. Imagine walking across the shadowed ridges, feeling the cold beneath your fingertips. Patient, serene, floating gently, weightless, calm, eternal. Its largest moon, Charon, measures about 1,212 kilometers across. Softly, slowly. Imagine seeing Charon looming above Pluto, a massive companion, silently orbiting. A cosmic dance. Patient, calm, serene, weightless, floating, gentle. Pluto and Charon are tidally locked to each other. Softly, slowly. Imagine Pluto always facing Charon, and Charon always facing Pluto. A quiet, eternal gaze. Patient, serene, floating gently, weightless, calm, gentle. The surface of Charon is mostly water ice. Rugged cliffs, craters, and deep canyons. Softly. Imagine drifting across Vulcan Planum, a smooth plain, contrasting with the rugged northern terrain. Patient, calm, serene, weightless, floating, gentle. Both Pluto and Charon tell stories of ancient collisions and icy reshaping. Softly, slowly. Imagine billions of years of cosmic history etched into ice. Patient, calm, serene, floating gently, weightless, eternal, gentle. Pluto teaches us that even at the far edges of our solar system, moons and worlds can be active, diverse, and quietly alive. Softly. Breathe in and out. Weightless. Floating. Calm. Serene. Patient. Eternal. Gentle. And as we drift away from Pluto and Charon, We leave behind their icy plains, jagged mountains, and deep canyons, and begin to drift outward into the Kuiper Belt. Patient, calm, serene, quietly waiting for us. And now, we drift gently past Pluto and Charon, leaving behind their icy plains, mountains, and canyons, and venture farther into the Kuiper Belt, toward a small, elongated world, Haumea, patient, serene, quietly spinning in the distant sunlight. Haumea measures about 1,632 kilometers long and only about 1,070 kilometers across. Softly, slowly, imagine standing on its stretched, icy surface, weightless, floating, calm, serene. Its elongated shape spins gently, slowly, silently. Breathe slowly, in and out, patient, floating, gentle, eternal. Haumea is unlike most other moons or dwarf planets. Softly, imagine its fast rotation, a single day lasting just under 4 hours. Its surface flattened and stretched, almost like a cosmic rugby ball. Weightless, calm, serene, gentle. The surface is mostly water ice with traces of rock. Softly, slowly, imagine gliding across the icy plains. Smooth in places, cracked and ridged in others. Patient, calm, serene, weightless, floating, gentle. Haumea has 2 known moons, Hyakka and Namaka. Softly, slowly, imagine seeing them orbiting, quietly circling Haumea. Patient, serene, gently dancing in the distant solar light. Weightless, calm, floating, gentle. Its surface is marked by cracks and bright icy regions. Softly, imagine drifting along the ridges, feeling the ancient ice beneath your fingertips. Patient, serene, floating gently, weightless, calm, eternal. Haumea spins so quickly, its surface may occasionally shift. Softly, slowly, imagine the gentle wobble, a reminder that even distant worlds are alive. Patient, calm, serene, weightless, floating. This distant world teaches us that even the farthest, smallest celestial bodies can be extraordinary, unusual, quietly alive. Softly, breathe in and out, weightless, floating, calm, serene, patient, eternal, gentle. And as we drift away from Haumea, we leave behind its elongated plains, It's spinning ice. It's orbiting moons, and begin to drift farther into the quiet reaches of the Kuiper Belt. Patient, calm, serene, quietly waiting for us. And now, we drift gently past Haumea, leaving behind its spinning, icy plains, its orbiting moons, and continue outward into the Kuiper Belt, toward a distant, quiet world. Make, silent, serene, softly glowing under the distant sun. Make measures about 1,434 kilometers across. Small, icy, mysterious, softly, slowly. Imagine standing on its frozen surface, weightless, floating, calm, serene. Plains of frozen methane stretch endlessly. Breathe slowly. In and out. Patient. Floating. Gentle. Eternal. Make surface is mostly methane ice, with some nitrogen and carbon monoxide. Softly. Slowly. Imagine gliding across the plains. The ice glints faintly, shimmering gently. Patient, calm, serene, weightless, floating, gentle. Its rotation takes about 7.8 hours. Softly. Imagine make spinning slowly. A quiet, rhythmic rotation. Patient. Serene. Floating gently. Weightless. Calm. Eternal. Make has at least one small known moon. Softly. Slowly. Imagine it orbiting. Circling patiently. A tiny companion dancing silently in the faint light. Patient. Calm. Serene. Gentle. Its surface is heavily cratered in places, showing signs of ancient impacts. Softly. Imagine each crater as a memory. A quiet story frozen in ice. Weightless. Calm. Serene. Floating gently. Patient. Eternal. Gentle. Make teaches us that even the most distant, faint worlds can be complex, quietly alive in their icy stillness. Softly. Breathe in and out. Weightless. Floating. Calm. Serene. Patient. Eternal. Gentle. And as we drift away from make, we leave behind its methane plains, its icy craters, and begin to drift farther into the quiet reaches of the Kuiper Belt, toward Eris, the largest known dwarf planet in this distant region. Patient, calm, serene, quietly waiting for us. And now, we drift gently past make, leaving behind its icy plains, methane-covered surfaces, and venture deeper into the distant, cold edges of the Kuiper Belt, toward a solitary, mysterious world. Eris. Silent. Serene. Patiently circling the sun. Eris measures about 2,326 kilometers across. Slightly smaller than Pluto. Softly. Slowly. Imagine standing on its frozen, distant surface. Weightless. Floating. Calm. Serene. Vast expanses of ice stretch endlessly. Breathe slowly. In and out. Patient. Floating. Gentle. Eternal. Its surface is primarily composed of frozen methane. Softly. Slowly. Imagine the glittering frost beneath your fingertips, reflecting the faint, distant sunlight. Patient. Calm. Serene. Floating gently. Weightless. Eternal. Gentle. Eris rotates once every 25.9 hours. Softly. Imagine it spinning slowly in the dark. A quiet, measured rotation. Patient. Serene. Floating. Weightless. Calm. Gentle. Eris has one known moon, Dysnomia. Softly. Slowly. Imagine Dysnomia orbiting. A small companion tracing a quiet, graceful path. Patient. Calm. Serene. Weightless. Floating. Gentle. The surface of Eris is heavily cratered. Remnants of ancient collisions. Softly. Imagine each crater as a frozen memory. Billions of years of cosmic history. Etched into ice. Patient. Calm. Serene. Floating gently. Weightless. Eternal. Gentle. Eris teaches us that even the most remote, coldest worlds can hold secrets, quietly preserving the history of the solar system. Softly. Breathe in and out. Weightless. Floating. Calm. Serene. Patient. Eternal. Gentle. And as we drift away from Eris, we leave behind its icy plains, craters, an orbiting moon, and prepare to explore the faint, distant objects of the Kuiper Belt and Oort cloud. Patient. Calm. Serene. Quietly waiting for us. And now, we drift gently past Eris, leaving behind its icy plains, its lone moon, and venture farther into the dim, quiet outskirts of our solar system, toward the scattered Kuiper Belt objects and the distant, icy reaches of the Oort cloud. Patient. Serene. Silently circling the sun. These distant objects are small, irregularly shaped. Softly. Slowly. Imagine drifting past tiny icy worlds, some no more than a few kilometers across, some larger, like miniature frozen planets, weightless, floating, calm, serene. Breathe slowly, in and out. Patient, floating, gentle, eternal. The scattered disk lies beyond the main Kuiper belt. Softly, imagine these objects on elongated, eccentric orbits, sometimes close, sometimes far from the sun, billions of kilometers away. Patient, eternal, calm, weightless, floating, gentle. These objects are mostly frozen rock and ice, water ice, methane, nitrogen. Softly, slowly, imagine their surfaces sparkling faintly in the distant sunlight. Quiet, still, ancient, patient, serene, floating, weightless, calm, gentle, and beyond even the scattered disk lies the Oort cloud, a vast, spherical shell surrounding the sun. Softly, imagine trillions of icy bodies, drifting silently in the cold darkness. Patient, calm, serene, floating gently, weightless, eternal, gentle. The Oort cloud may extend up to 100,000 astronomical units. Softly, slowly, imagine a tiny speck of ice, floating in a sea of darkness, billions of years old, untouched, patient, serene, calm, weightless, floating, gentle. These distant bodies, comets, icy remnants, are the leftovers of the solar system's formation. Softly, imagine them drifting slowly, silently, carrying the history of the sun's birth. Patient, calm, serene, weightless, floating, gentle. Some of these icy worlds may one day travel inward. Softly, slowly, imagine a comet blazing across the inner solar system, tail streaming, light faint but visible. Patient, eternal, calm, weightless, floating, serene, gentle. These scattered Kuiper belt objects and Oort cloud bodies teach us that even at the farthest edges, the solar system is alive with history. Softly, breathe in and out, weightless, floating, calm, serene, patient, eternal, gentle. And as we drift away from these icy remnants, we leave behind their cold, silent homes and begin the slow journey back inward, toward the warmth and light of the inner solar system. Patient, calm, serene, quietly waiting for us. And now, we drift gently past Eris, leaving behind its icy plains, its lone moon, and venture farther into the dim, quiet outskirts of our solar system, toward the scattered Kuiper Belt objects, and the distant, icy reaches of the Oort cloud. Patient, serene, silently circling the sun. These distant objects are small, irregularly shaped. Softly, slowly, imagine drifting past tiny icy worlds, some no more than a few kilometers across, some larger, like miniature frozen planets, weightless, floating, calm, serene. Breathe slowly, in and out, patient, floating, gentle, eternal. The scattered disk lies beyond the main Kuiper Belt. Softly, imagine these objects on elongated, eccentric orbits, sometimes close, sometimes far from the sun, billions of kilometers away. Patient, eternal, calm, weightless, floating, gentle. These objects are mostly frozen rock and ice, water ice, methane, nitrogen. Softly, slowly, imagine their surfaces sparkling faintly in the distant sunlight. Quiet, still, ancient, patient, serene, floating, weightless, calm, gentle, and beyond even the scattered disk lies the Oort cloud, a vast, spherical shell surrounding the sun. Softly, imagine trillions of icy bodies, drifting silently in the cold darkness. Patient, calm, serene, floating gently, weightless, eternal, gentle. The Oort cloud may extend up to 100,000 astronomical units. Softly, slowly, imagine a tiny speck of ice, floating in a sea of darkness, billions of years old, untouched, patient, serene, calm, weightless, floating, gentle. These distant bodies, comets, icy remnants, are the leftovers of the solar system's formation. Softly, imagine them drifting slowly, silently, carrying the history of the sun's birth. Patient, calm, serene, weightless, floating, gentle. Some of these icy worlds may one day travel inward. Softly, slowly, imagine a comet blazing across the inner solar system, tail streaming, light faint but visible. Patient, eternal, calm, weightless, floating, serene, gentle. These scattered Kuiper Belt objects and Oort cloud bodies teach us that even at the farthest edges, the solar system is alive with history. Softly, breathe in and out, weightless, floating, calm, serene, patient, eternal, gentle. And as we drift away from these icy remnants, we leave behind their cold, silent homes and begin the slow journey back inward, toward the warmth and light of the inner solar system. Patient, calm, serene, quietly floating through the vastness of space. Take a deep breath in and out, weightless, floating, gentle, serene. Let your mind settle into the quiet rhythm of the cosmos. Patient, calm, gentle, eternal. As we return, we revisit the moons we have met on this journey. Earth's own moon, softly glowing, stabilizing our planet. Imagine its gentle light bathing oceans and landscapes below. Tides moving slowly, rhythmically, patiently, weightless, calm, serene, floating gently. Mars moons, Phobos and Deimos, tiny, irregular, potato-shaped. Softly, imagine them spinning silently above the rusty plains. Patient, calm, serene, floating gently, weightless, eternal, gentle. Jupiter's moons, each a world of wonder. Io, alive with fiery volcanoes. Europa, hiding a vast ocean beneath its icy crust. Ganymede, the largest moon, quietly holding its own magnetic field. Callisto, ancient and cratered, silently witnessing billions of years. Softly, slowly, imagine visiting each of these moons. Patient, calm, serene, floating gently, weightless, floating, gentle. Saturn's moons, Titan with its methane lakes, Enceladus spraying icy geysers. Softly, visualize their surfaces. Strange, beautiful, alive in subtle ways. Patient, calm, serene, floating gently, weightless, eternal, gentle. Uranus moons, Titania, Oberon, and smaller companions. Softly, imagine their ice-covered plains, quietly orbiting their blue planet. Patient, calm, serene, floating gently, weightless, floating, gentle. Neptune's moons, Triton with its nitrogen geysers, Proteus and Nereid, rugged and cratered. Softly, drift past their surfaces once more. Patient, calm, serene, floating gently, weightless, eternal, gentle. Even the farthest, tiniest moons, scattered Kuiper belt objects, icy remnants in the Oort cloud. Patient, quietly waiting, holding billions of years of history. softly. Breathe in and out, weightless, floating, calm, serene, patient, gentle, eternal. And now we reflect. We have journeyed from Earth's own moon, with its silent footprints and glowing eclipses, to the hidden, icy oceans of Europa, the fiery, restless volcanoes of Io, and the sparkling, frozen geysers of Enceladus. Softly, imagine their surfaces, vast, mysterious, quietly alive. We have seen moons of every shape, some jagged and irregular, like potatoes, some enormous, even larger than planets, and some still forming, gently emerging within Saturn's rings. Each one is a quiet reminder that the universe is full of companions, circling in endless, patient rhythm. Softly, slowly, let your thoughts orbit, like moons gliding gently around a quiet, glowing planet. There is no need to hold on to every detail, only the feeling of vastness, of quiet worlds in motion, of time stretching slowly across billions of years. The night sky is alive with stories, and moons are among its softest, most whispered secrets. If this journey has brought you calm, consider leaving a gentle thought in the comments, or liking and subscribing. It helps other travelers find this peaceful path, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, let the day drift away. Let your breathing settle into a steady, gentle rhythm. Slow, effortless, unhurried. Picture yourself weightless, floating like a moon bathed in soft starlight, carried endlessly around a quiet, unseen center. Sleep now. Drift into dreams. And may your night be as peaceful, patient, and still as the calmest of moons. Until we meet again on the next journey. Good night.